Hi, welcome to Fey Earth, our indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. This is a world where magic and the industrial age collide, where men in beautiful waistcoats and fabulous, crisp, white linen shirts are fighting the Fae in their mounds or fighting for love in Montmartre. We join our band of adventurous women who are in Paris, in an alternate Paris. It is the year 1872. It's approximately 6 months or so since a devastating war in which Otto von Bismarck convinced Emperor Napoleon III of France to ally with him, even though they hated each other. The people they disliked more was the Fey nation of Arcadia, nestled between their two nations. The king of Arcadia, king who had reigned as the most powerful monarch in Europe for nearly 800 years, had died of old age, something that even happens to the elves, though taking a lot longer than mere mortal humans. And his son had taken the throne. Bismarck, thinking that for the first time ever that they were vulnerable, launched an attack with the alliance of the French in a bloody war that ultimately ended in devastation for the humans. On the last day of the battle, the Fae unleashed terrible magics, destroying the Prussian and French armies in infernos of flame. Some believe it was an ancient magic unlocked, while others, those handful of you who survived, still swear that they saw dragons on the field. But most discard this as sheer nonsense of addled minds of soldiers who lost their wits on the battle, because no one has seen a dragon anywhere in Europe in over 5 centuries. But enough about me. I would like one of our players to give us a recap of our last session.
It should be someone who doesn't forget to use their inspiration dice, because I have a terrible, terrible fucking history of doing. So
well, so do I. So
I think I only used it like once out of 5 times.
Gwyn, do you want to do it? Oh no, have we lost Neve?
Yeah, sure,
okay,
sure.
cool,
Having
cool. Yeah.
connection issues as usual. We attended a fabulous ball by Madame Gautier in her home. And the entire party was there, which was fabulous. Obviously sans Mina, who's away visiting home. And so we kind of schmoozed the room, met really interesting guests, some of whom the party had met before, like Astrid, the young woman who's just coming out into society, and her mother. They were in attendance. We met the mysterious Baron, who may or may not be a blood-sucking vampire, to be determined, who Aminata took a great interest in, and I'm secretly hoping for a vampire in the party, so yay. And there were some other guests, like a beautiful young man with pre-Raphaelite locks who Astrid took a shine to, and unfortunately ended up sneaking away with. The party have kind of become her unofficial protectors, guardians, and so towards the end of the ball, lots of social drama occurred, but we ended up noticing Astrid had vanished from the room. We went to find her, and we found her in an amorous embrace in the drawing room with this young pre-Raphaelite guy, which of course at this time would be very, very scandalous. Thankfully the party are the only people who've seen it, so we might get a chance to rectify it.
Okay, so you get 1d8 inspiration die that you can use for any ability check in the game. So,
I'll try not to forget.
Astrid, seeing you all, as you burst through the door, all you hear is like, "Ah!" a shriek as she is disturbed, sitting on the chaise lounge, reclining back slightly as Monsieur de la Cour is leaning over her, and they are kissing quite passionately. He leaps up off the couch, and she leaps up, hands covering her face, absolutely mortified, as you are all standing in the doorway. You're not sure if anybody else has heard the scream, because music is still being played, and you are across the hallway out from the ballroom, but what do you want to do immediately?
I immediately swing around and close the door, slam it shut,
okay, so
and kind of lean up against it.
Yes, so you're immediately closing
People
the
have
door.
to fight me to get in.
Yes, of course, absolutely. All right, so and she's it's not what it seemed, and nothing has happened, nothing at all, and Monsieur Delacour's like, Mademoiselles, please, you are. This is not how it. I can promise that nothing untoward had happened between myself.
Look, we don't care if something has happened, but if you are seen by people other than us, you understand could be perceived as something quite scandalous.
Astrid goes even more bright. Says, "Did my mother see? Is my mother here? Does my mother know? Where's my mother?
No,
oh,
luckily,
she's gonna kill me. She's gonna kill me. Oh, my
you and Gwynwill, directed towards the young man, should have known better. You should have known what this might do to a young woman in her position.
We were overtaken by our feelings for each other.
Yeah,
I mean, if anything, I was probably the one who was encouraging Lorraine as she's trying to like.
Astrid, you have to understand. Look, I am not one to be preaching virtues, okay? But you have to understand.
You're a
if
very
your mother,
virtuous woman, Gwyn. I do not know what you speak
yes,
of.
well, to be determined. If your mother had seen this, your prospects would have been ruined. You have to be careful.
Oh,
no. You can't do this. And
Oh, no.
you and Gwyn will point at the young man. You know better.
I would never ever do anything to. I am an honorable.
that may be.
I am an honorable suitor of.
That may be, sir.
Mademoiselle Lagarde.
It is your word against who would discover you. You're lucky that it was us. I do. At this point, you see Sylvia is getting quite uncomfortable. I do understand what it is to have someone whispering things to you, and you become caught up in the moment. We are all only human, after all. So you can take from that what you will. I do understand, nonetheless, as Quinn says, you should know better. But thankfully, you were seen by us, so we can just say that we came in here to get some air and look at the paintings, and I don't know, your absence hadn't been spotted, so as it is, I think things will be okay.
You have to understand, Astrid, you have to understand, maybe next time we will not be here. And look, as unfair as it is, the way society is now, you can't be seen doing these things. We just want the best for you, and it might seem really unfair, but you just can't. What will happen? Your name will be around town, no one will be interested in marrying you, and then what prospects do you have?
At which point, Michelle goes, our prospects are myself.
And how many other women have you said that to, I wonder?
Well, none in quite some time.
So are we to believe then that there are other women in similar positions who are waiting,
or at least there have been?
No, there are no other women but Mademoiselle Lagarde. She's the only one who,
at this moment,
that my heart longs for.
Yes, well, Astrid, just be aware that men's feelings are fleeting.
I am not the typical man. It would take.
All men claim to not be typical men. Come on.
I can promise you, I'm not a typical Parisian suitor.
Yes, well, you might be an excellent dancer, but it certainly looks like you're just an average man when it comes down to it.
Looks can be deceiving. Now, I would suggest that perhaps I would quietly and discreetly leave this room first and move away from here, and then maybe a few moments later, Mademoiselles, you could take Mademoiselle Lagarde back to the main dance, to the ballroom. What do you all think?
Get out. Get out. Ben opens the door and then slams it behind him.
Okay, all right. Delacourt slips out quite, 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 quite smoothly and quietly. Okay. Um. So yeah.
That is outrageous. That is outrageous. How dare he? He knew exactly what he was doing. And I'm sorry, Astrid, I know you like him, but he has been around the block before, I can tell. This is not his
Well,
first time. And you just
when
need to be careful.
it is easy to become caught up in the moment, and these things can happen to people.
Oh,
And
Sylvia, I know. Believe me, I know all about being caught up in the moment, as you know. But it's different when there's a young man who's clearly experienced trying to take advantage of a young woman like Astrid, whose prospects could be ruined had anyone. I mean, why here? So public. It's outrageous.
I do understand Astrid's situation is different to ours. But I think that the situation can be salvaged. And Astrid, are you all right?
I am perfectly fine. Monsieur Delacour did nothing of an impropriety towards. I mean, look. She says we were just kissing, and as she says that, she gets even more embarrassed. And you did not know that the human body could produce these shades and tones of red. Yeah. So yeah, all we did was kiss.
I understand, but you must understand what we've been saying, Astrid. We believe you, but had it been someone else who walked in, they may not believe you. And after that, there would be shame and all of scandal and gossip and, the way these things go, it could have been much worse.
I can promise you now, he did not try to force himself upon me. If anything, I was forcing myself upon him. She said, and kind of giggles nervously, embarrassed, but being unusually candor for such a shy girl.
Well, Astrid, just choose your locations better next time. I mean, honestly, the proximity here to your mother and all these guests, it's unsafe.
I promise next time I will be much more careful to be away from prying eyes.
Good. That's all we're asking.
I'm glad that you agree, Gwyn. I knew if anybody would understand, you would.
The
heart wants what the heart wants.
Oh, that is true. I can't fault you there. That is very true.
No one is faulting or judging you, Astrid. I have been in similar situation myself, so I understand exactly how you must be feeling.
And did your man pursue you the way that Monsieur Lorraine has been pursuing me, with the same honor and respect?
Well, I did marry my beloved in the end, so
And wait, where is he now?
Oh, there was a four. They are dead, but
oh no! And you can see her eyes start to genuinely water, and she looks like she's about to cry. No, Sylvia! Oh, and she kind of goes up as if to give you a hug, but she doesn't know if she should, because she's not sure if you're in that kind of a hugging relationship. But she's getting really, she genuinely looks like she's about to cry on your behalf, because you just told her that your husband died in the war.
Look, the point that I am trying to make is that I absolutely understand how you feel and can empathize. And, ultimately what happened, but it did end in marriage in my case. So.
Our point is,
yes, Justine.
We're not judging you at all.
Oh,
if anything, we all understand. But the thing is, that you have to play by the rules of the society that we're in.
Of
And
course.
for you, as the young lady, the
Yes.
reputational damage is going to be much greater than his. Even if you say you forced yourself onto him, it doesn't matter for those people. Just try to be more careful.
I will.
And
I'm so lucky that I met you all. I never thought I would meet such wonderful women here in Paris. You're like a protective circle of big sisters, and I'm just so lucky to have met you all.
Oh, okay, come here, and Gwen gives her a big hug.
Oh,
Come here.
a group hug.
oh no.
Sylvia standing awkwardly to one side. She's not in the group hug.
I was just like,
Houston is very much is, and I think Anki is as well. Like,
Yeah. Anki's licking the tears off of Astrid's cheeks.
Astrid gets a pat on the shoulder. That's what she gets.
Oh, okay. So
You're okay, kid. You're okay.
after a few minutes, you slip out, and as you're coming back in towards the main dining hall, the main ballroom, you see Astrid's mother coming out. She's like, "Astrid, where were you? I've been looking everywhere for you. Where
Well,
have you been?"
we went to get some air outside.
Oh, you were.
It's such a beautiful night.
Oh, okay. She was.
We went to look at the stars.
She was with you, Gwen.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, I have nothing to worry about then if she's with yourselves. I think she's genuinely like, she was genuinely concerned. Where the fuck were you? Like, seriously, girl. But when you guys say, oh, she was with us, she's like, I have nothing to worry about. If she's with you all, she is perfect. She's probably safer than with anyone else in Paris.
Oh yeah, no, she was perfectly fine. I actually took a bit of a turn.
Are you
when
okay?
We were talking to the Archbishop, and I just had to go and get some air, and Astrid was nice enough to come with me. So, but we're returning her to you now.
Are you enjoying the party, Madame Lagarde?
Oh, it is truly wonderful. Madame Gauthier, she's so kind and generous to invite us here. I'm so very happy. Astrid has met numerous young men, some of them from very promising families. It's been quite a wonderful evening for us, although we will probably having to be leaving soon enough. It is getting quite late, of course, and I am not as young as my beautiful daughter.
But no less beautiful, madame.
Oh, please, you. She blushes at the compliment. She's a widow. She probably hasn't gotten that many compliments. A widow who's separated from society to raise her daughter, so not used to getting compliments.
Well, it is easy to see where Astrid gets her kind heart from.
Oh, please. All right. Is are mingling for a bit longer. The Baron does come back over to talk to Amanada, and you see her just handing him a card of paper.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And you can see Justine being like visibly nervous at that. She gets like fidgety and very much like unrest.
You okay, Justine?
I'll probably tell you later after the ball, somewhere more private where no one, and she's looking at the person, where no one can accidentally or purposefully overhear us.
Actually, Quinn, are you all right? You looked quite pale while we were talking to the Archbishop.
I'm all right now. That whole situation brought me back to my senses. I just couldn't believe you were telling him what you were, a man of his standing with his power.
I didn't tell him that I was married to a woman, which I think would have scandalized him far more.
Oh no, that's not what I mean at all. But you told him you were a druid. What if he wasn't amenable to people like us?
What would he have done? There is a druid.
He could have done anything with his power. He's the Archbishop. He could have strung all of us up at the stake for if he wanted.
That does not happen anymore. In Berlin, there was a headquarters of druids. They were not, hidden or anything like that.
But this is France after a war.
And any times there have ever been problems with the Fae, druids are the ones that they call. It's not as though the church are going to randomly turn on other casters. You know, he
Well, they have,
not
and they
for
can do again.
not for hundreds of years. So
Still, the
it's
effects of
not
what
like
they did in the past, believe me, they still echo in the current day. I've lost ancestors to these church patriarchs and their whims of burning women at the stake. It
you
happened
know,
in the past, it can happen
I
again.
think everyone has, but if they were to, you know, storm the headquarters of druids and start burning them, or storm a university of sorcerers and start burning them, you know, that would be an act of war, and, you know, it would not be in their interest to do such a thing.
I'm not
I don't,
concerned with them storming the druid headquarters. I'm concerned with you vanishing in the middle of the night or something happening to you as an individual. You know, these things do happen. You can't trust them.
by that logic, you can't trust anyone, really, you know.
Those men with the power and access to wealth that they have, they can do anything they want.
Well, this is true, but I don't think they're going to just randomly decide to murder people. That is not, you know.
I don't trust any of them.
Well, I am not worried. I know that the arcane spark, certainly within the church, it is very rare. So, you know, let them try, but I don't think there would be anything. Also, he seemed quite pleasant, which was unusual. I was not expecting him to be so,
very unusual.
yeah, but you know, not all men are bad.
Okay. Right. So, the party continues on for about another hour and a half or so. But Gwyn, Josephine kind of takes you by the arm and leads you away. She wants to introduce you to a lot of different people, you know, some of whom you've met before, some of whom you haven't. It's a lot of industrialists, mill and textile owners, one or two bankers, entrepreneurs. So like they're not exactly the most amazingly exciting people in the world, but these are clearly men who have considerable power and influence here in Paris, members of the very wealthy and powerful bourgeoisie. And as an artificer and businesswoman herself, these are men that she obviously has built up strong relationships with, if for no other reasons than purely financial reasons, you know, because of her businesses that she carries out. All right.
Yes,
So
Gwen
you're
will be on
like,
her best behavior.
yeah, you
Full of
are.
niceties for Josephine's sake.
You are, however, getting very bored very fast, because
Yeah.
these are not in any way enthralling conversations. You know, just yeah. But
Lots of just polite head nodding and
exactly,
yeah.
that's exactly it. At one stage, she does introduce you to a man in his early 50s. He stands about 182, so slightly above average height. Bald haired, brown eyes, like smooth, kind of pockmarked, sallow skin, kind of regular build, but a fairly square and bland face. He says, "Ah, Gwyn, this is Chief Inspector Albert Barreau of the Paris Constabulary."
Monsieur Barreau, lovely to meet you.
Enchanté, mademoiselle. And she says, this is Gwyn Elvendil. She's a very interesting woman of many talents.
Oh no.
And he turns to us, well, Madame Gautier, I think half of Paris knows of your fondness for interesting women of many talents. And he kind of chuckles, and she chuckles along with him, and he says,
Gwen just scowls.
he's not lying, you know.
Yep.
And he says, yes. The chief inspector and I, we've known each other. Oh God, how many years have we known each other, Monsieur? He says, oh, far more than I care to think. But you still look more beautiful, as beautiful now as you did the first day I met you. Unlike myself, as he points to his bald head, and he kind of chuckles again to himself. He says, oh please, Monsieur, you're too cruel. I said, no. Let us speak the truth here, Madame. And
Exactly, my dear. Take the compliment. Women are the fair sex.
The young lady is correct. They are. They are the fairer sex. We're the stronger sex. That is the way that God made it to be. And
Well then.
and they chat for a few more minutes, and then he goes. And so that's the one that I was meeting with, the night that I couldn't collect my shipment from Jotunheim.
I figured as much.
Yes.
I don't think I ever properly thanked you for covering for us that night.
You can thank me properly tonight.
Oh, I will indeed.
Okay, I look forward to it. So, unless there were any other NPCs that any of you specifically wanted to talk to, we can. I mean, if there were, great, totally cool. But if not, we can wrap it up and say you socialize for another hour or so, and then eventually start making your way home.
The only thing is, I'd just be looking out for Delacourt, just seeing what he's at.
So this is the thing. He's disappeared. He's gone. Yes. He has disappeared. You do not see him. When you went back into the dance studio, into the dance studio, into the ballroom, he was not there, and you have not seen him. You have not seen him since you went back into the main ballroom.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
So he appears to have vanished.
Okay, no, that's fine.
And if do you ask for him?
I might just ask like somebody if they've seen him, but not like just...
No. Well, when you do, any person you ask says no, they have not seen him in several hours.
Huh. All right.
So, yes.
Well, he should be hiding, so no bad thing.
Maybe he's hiding from Gwyn.
You better be.
As you should.
If he has any sense.
So, do you guys eventually head your separate ways back to your homes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
are we all departing together, right?
Well,
or Gwyn is staying?
Sylvia, Justine, and Amanada could share a cab, although you don't really live in the same direction. Gwyn is spending the night here with Josephine.
Fair.
Oh,
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
then
Justine and Sil, I'd say that realistically, Amanada would have gotten a cab home because she lives in a nice part of the city, nowhere near where you live, so she would have gotten a cab home. But Sylvia and Justine, you two would have been sharing a cab home.
It's next to a very nice, respectable opium den, I will have you know.
nothing wrong with that. So before we all part ways, I would say Justine's just going to be like, can I just invite you out for a second, just to get a breath of fresh air, all of you,
to the whole party. So to Gwyn and Amanada.
Yes.
Cool.
Of
course.
Well, yeah.
Yes, of course.
That's like doesn't even to say. Yeah. So you all just head out into a quiet area. We'll say you move off into the dining room or something. Not necessarily outside the premises, but just off to a quiet spot.
So I make sure that no one is around.
Yep.
Anywhere.
Close the doors. You are a good bit away from the party. There's still music playing, so you should be okay.
I don't like the Baron, and I have reasons not to like him. Because what happened was, Aminata, I'm so sorry to tell it to you, but as soon as he approached, Anki just grabbed my shoulder. And it never happened before. He never reacted like that to anyone or anything. And we've seen a lot of things and we've been to a lot of places. And I've never, ever, ever, ever seen him react like that. And then I wasn't sure if it was because of the bishop or because of the Baron. But then when the two of you went dancing, he relaxed all of a sudden.
Are you sure it wasn't the bishop?
It was the Baron if he relaxed when the Baron left, if he was no longer tense.
Most certain it was the Baron. I wish I could say it was the bishop, even though he's a nice man, but I don't think anyone here is in favor of church. But I am almost certain they was Baron. I just want to warn you, Aminata. I know he seems like a lovely man, and he's stunning, and he's attractive. But just be careful, okay? Maybe don't meet him without us. I don't know. It's not my place to give advices. I just want to warn you because I'm worried about you.
I suppose we don't know.
We don't know, but I do
But there
trust
are
Anki.
people sometimes that animals do not like, and this does happen.
Anki's not just an animal. That's the problem. Anki is a fairy dragon, and he's my familiar, so he's not a regular cat or a dog. He is more than that, and usually he doesn't care about humans. And he never reacted to literally anyone. One clerk, no reaction. All those people in the warehouse, they were just crooks and bandits. No reaction. So there is something off about that guy. I don't know what it is. I hope Anki was just tired, or I don't know, fell asleep and had his weird dragon dream. But I have a bad feeling about it.
Well, we could, Aminata could safely, with some distance, try to get to know him if such is what they want to do. I think the fact that Anki has reacted this way is something we should definitely pay attention to. Because we have seen him not react badly to actually terrible and evil people. So there was something that made him react that way, but I don't know.
That's unfortunate. I trust Anki's senses. They're probably keener than ours.
Can I actually try and get into his head and ask, kind of try to distinguish, and find out why he got so distressed?
So, what you get, because obviously Anklegon can only communicate through image and emotion. And the emotion that you get is one of fear. But fear in the presence of an extremely dangerous predator.
Okay, so it's not like your bog standard fear. It's that visceral.
It's the instinctive fear that an animal would have in the presence of an apex predator.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, all right.
Well, that's a shame because the Baron really was the finest man in the room, even by my standards.
Oh,
and a lot of predators are.
You are
very good looking.
Speaking well about a man has helped.
It was interesting, powerful. Didn't you think stoic, powerful? Not like these Parisian wimps who care more about money than power.
That's the one thing I will say about this Baron Strassimir. He is the antithesis of the bourgeoisie Parisian dandy. So
strong,
very
stoic, masculine,
strong, masculine, warrior, stoic. That's the essence he gives off, is this strong, masculine, but not like a toxic masculine. Not a just a strong, masculine, stoic warrior personality.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Gwyn, can acknowledge that
absolutely.
as being something.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, the thing. He may be a predator, some sort of overall, some sort of fae, but he might not necessarily be evil. He might just terrify Anklegon. We really don't know.
Perhaps he is some sort of oh my god, I nearly said Barovian fae. Where is he from again? Bulgaria. Bulgarian fae. Freudian slip there. What do we know about creatures in that part of the world?
It's not you. Sorry.
I certainly don't know anything about the part of the world he comes from. Perhaps that is somewhat normal there.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
But we have to trust Anclagon.
yes.
How unusual. It makes him even more interesting, I feel.
I am not even surprised at this point, Finn. You'd be like, oh, this man might be horrible and dangerous. And your first instinct is, oh, if he was blonde, I thought Madame Gautier might have cause to be worried. But,
Oh no, never, never. It's more the power seeping out of his pores that interests me, Sylvia.
Yeah, this he
And
does.
but that's probably what interests Aminata as well. But
Yeah,
Aminata, you must be careful.
she says that she says something to the effect that she promises she'll be careful and try to behave. But she does also say when she was dancing with him and when he was holding her in his arms, he had a lot of power oozing from him. Yeah. So.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so having had this private discussion, Aminata does eventually thank Madame Gautier for a wonderful evening and gets a cab home. Sylvia and Justina, I assume you do the same.
Yes.
And Gwyn, you stay to spend the night with your beautiful paramour, assisting her in her hosting duties.
Excellent. I will not go near the second floor.
Oh no, you won't.
Not yet.
No,
Not yet.
you really won't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can certainly try.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
No. Gwyn values her life.
Yeah. You already explored one artificer's workshop, and
That was enough.
You
That
saw
was enough.
how that went. So yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That is technology Gwyn just knows she can't
No.
mess with.
Yeah.
So, nope.
Yeah. So okay, right. So you so Sylvia, Justine, I mean, if nothing else, you guys can head home. You have your long night's rest. Okay, nothing.
Well, thank Madame Gautier for a lovely evening and
Yes,
all that.
of course. Yeah. No. She said she does actually genuinely like the use game, and like, it's a great shindig and all that. You did have a really fun time. I mean, obviously, Sylvia, you're not interested in Dancing with the Men, but you did have a really interesting conversation with the bishop. Like, he actually seems like an extremely learned man for one thing, but also extremely open-minded,
Yeah, no, like he seemed really awesome, and I don't know what would happen if some pretty lady had approached her, but we'll see.
Maybe next ball, But no, like the bishop, like, did any of you guys ever have? I mean, maybe yes, maybe Paulina doesn't. You grew up in a very different country to us, so you probably don't get this reference. But did any of you ever have that religion teacher who'd actually genuinely studied lots and lots of different world religions and was really cool and really open-minded about stuff?
No, mine was the opposite.
Okay, well,
He carried the catechisms of the Catholic Church around under his arm all the time.
Well, I had one or two. Funnily enough, some of the most open-minded religion teachers that I had were Catholic priests who were still teaching in my school, but they were genuinely learned men who had studied religion and theology in seminary and were actually very open-minded, when it came to religion and philosophy and belief, because they had studied it in seminary, like. So yeah, and that's the kind of vibe that you get off of the bishop, is that he's a scholar. He's a scholar of theology,
He
of
seems
philosophy, of
genuinely
history,
cool.
and genuinely was really loving the conversation with you, Sylvia. Like when you said, "Oh, I'm a Druid," he was like, "Oh, straight in there." Wanting to talk to another member of the faithful, Yeah, you're practicing a different faith to him, but you are one of the faithful, so you are a like-minded person to him. And it was a really great conversation that you had.
Yeah.
Like you actually, it was almost invigorating, like a really honest, in-depth conversation with somebody who actually in many ways is similarly minded to yourself, because he is also a religious, spiritual person. I know your spiritualities are different, but there was that commonality there that you had,
Yeah.
and it was really,
And
yeah.
he was all kind of grandfatherly and just very
Yeah,
nice.
absolutely, and very open of like, yeah, please, we'll arrange for you to come to the Bishop's Palace. You can look through our records. You're students, you're scholars. I want to share
I was doing that for Justine's
I know,
benefit. She's there
absolutely,
freaking out about
absolutely,
the
yeah,
fucking barn. I'm like, I'm doing this for you.
yeah, no,
Have you
100%,
trying to protect my friends?
yeah.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Nonetheless, but yeah, so as I say, you do eventually. You guys get home to Montmartre. Aminata heads home to her house, and Gwyn, you stay the night in Josephine's house. Okay, you have like this isn't your first time here, either. You know, you've been here before.
Yeah,
Before she got you the shag pad, she used to bring you back here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So you all have a long night's rest. No vampires jump out to attack you in your sleep.
Yay.
No priests are coming for Sylvia.
No priests. No mobs with pitchforks appearing outside your lodgings in Montmartre.
Not yet.
Shouting to
Yeah.
Paris,
burn the
come
witch.
on.
You know, this is like it's kind of weird because it's still an extremely religious, very Catholic country, but it's a very religious, very Catholic country which has gone through so much social upheaval in the last 100 years. You know, you had the revolution, the monarchy completely wiped out, then being replaced by this bourgeoisie class of learned scholars going through, but learned scholars in what was the birth of the Enlightenment era. You know, Voltaire, Sartre, all of these Enlightenment philosophers, and then you had Napoleon the First come along. And then you had this, and there was a brief attempt at a Paris Commune after Napoleon III was killed, but it didn't really hold. More because of the general chaos that was happening in France as a result of the war, not because of Prussians marching on Paris, which is historically what happened. But so France is kind of weird mishmash of bourgeoisie, Enlightenment scholars, and extremely religious Catholics. It's really weird. But nonetheless, as I said, you have your long night's rest. And next morning you guys get up. You know, you've having breakfast, trying to decide what to do with your day. Okay?
Yes.
When is my meeting with the bishop? I forgot.
I don't think he's set a date. He said he'd contact you because he was like, no, he'd said, oh, we'll contact you, and you
Sure.
gave him details by which to contact you. You know, he didn't set a specific date, but he said, oh, we'll arrange something next week or two, kind of thing. You know,
Fair.
like he wasn't brushing you off. It was, I'll check my calendar and I'll get back to you, kind of vibe. You know.
Yeah, which is totally like.
Yeah, no, that's very valid. I'd say Justine like couldn't really sleep too well. Like she probably got like, her long night's rest, but because she felt like Anki's emotions and Anki's like images in his head, I guess like it impacted her a lot.
Yeah,
the
of
whole
course.
situation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let me try and poke his mind gently again, and see if there's anything that might give more clue.
No, not yet again. As I say, it's as if when he came into the presence of the Baron, he was that animalistic instinct of being aware of being in the presence of now, not just another dangerous animal, but an apex predator.
Yeah.
Okay, like that level of fear. Not just this animal is dangerous and it might be. No, this was apex predator.
Gotcha. So my question, not a question to him, but like what Justine will try to find out. Has he ever felt anything like that before?
No, not
maybe
really,
before
no.
even like. No,
like I mean, maybe once or twice. Like if he was in the presence of like maybe an ogre or something, if he got kind of close to something like that, he would have been. But even something like say a dire wolf, which for a human is a feckin' apex predator, but he's a feckin' fairy dragon. He can just fly off the thing and get it,
And he lived in the fairy forest as well before meeting us.
Exactly. So like, So yeah, like no, not
So
really. Yeah,
whatever the Baron is, he's more dangerous than basically anything we've encountered so far.
you don't know.
Well, okay. So I, as a player, know that he sniffed Aminata, but Justine doesn't know it. So
No,
Justine,
she does not.
the only thing Justine knows is that he's an apex predator. He scared the living shit out of my fairy dragon.
Yes,
There's a fairy dragon, and he doesn't give a shit about anything.
he doesn't worry about most things because he's a magical
Yeah.
flying reptile with chameleon stealth abilities.
He's
Exactly.
also basically a glorified house cat that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he has the mentality of a house cat.
Well, we turned him into that. That's our fault.
You
Um,
kind of have mummied him into that, but he does have that house cat mentality of I give no fucks about anything.
I do imagine him occasionally like deliberately knocking shit off.
He is still a little bit too young. In a few years' time, when he's older and has physically matured more, he will have a breath weapon.
Nice.
But
He's going to be a
Will it
fucking
be
menace.
there?
at the moment, he is a bit. He's still a bit of a baby. He's a juvenile fairy dragon, so he's not physically matured enough yet to have his breath weapon.
What age
Gotcha.
does he get a breath weapon?
Like he's juvenile now, so he's a couple of years old. Fairy dragons' lifespans are kind of weird because if they become a familiar and they get tied to their sorcerer, their lifespan becomes linked to that of the sorcerer. So it's not like so in a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, but it could be like maybe 6 or 7. It's kind of hard to know.
When Justine's frontal lobes form.
Yeah.
So in a couple of years. Okay. So the only thing that Justine knows basically is that he's from Bulgaria.
He says
He's
he's from
incredibly-
Bulgaria.
Yeah, he says he's from Bulgaria. He's incredibly good looking. She knows his name and family name. She knows that he scares the shit out of Anki. And she knows that he is somewhat strong. Which is not surprising because he's in a very good physical shape. But every little helps.
Oh, like he's a really good looking guy, like, and not just like in terms of his beautiful, ridiculous, could cut fabric with his bones, with his cheeks, bone structure. Like he is, his build, his physique, he is incredible physical condition.
Yeah. Okay, are there any libraries where Justine can potentially go?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple of libraries in Paris, of course.
Okay, let's go to the biggest one of them, to the biggest public library. I'm going to tell Sylvia as well that, I couldn't sleep. I'm really worried for Aminata, and I can't stress it enough. Anki has never felt such a fury before.
Well, we could also, Neil, can I assume, because this is Paris, it's a major city, there'd be a druid headquarters here?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Would it be worth, maybe visiting the druids? Because if he is a creature or a fae, the druids are the ones who would interact with the fae more than anyone. They would certainly have a lot of knowledge.
That would be amazing. That would be fantastic if we could do that.
Now,
Or at least
I was never formally inducted into a druid order, so I don't know if they would listen to me. I was trained by was Leute called Eichers, so I don't know if that counts or gives me rank or standing. I've actually never met another druid, but we could certainly try.
thank you so much.
So
Sylvia.
there is the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, which is in Paris, which is like the National Library of France, which was like founded. It was actually founded at the Louvre by Charles V in like 1368, but it's since moved to Paris like several centuries after that, and so like it's a pretty big ass library.
Mm-hmm. Would they have info on Fae and stuff like?
Absolutely, they'll have a section on the Fae.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's go to the druids first.
Yeah.
maybe at least they will be able to give us some sort of indication. What kind of we don't have much information. That's the problem. But maybe if we explain what happened,
Yes.
because correct me if I'm wrong, but druids are very connected to the nature, and so is Anki.
It's true. It's the only thing is I just don't know if I would have any sort of standing there. But we can certainly try.
We can certainly try.
If not, I will be happy to invite you to the library with me, unless you have something more important and more interesting to do.
No, I don't.
Because I think we work really well in the library together, like we did last time.
Well, you were doing all this work. I was,
No, not at all. Not at all.
But okay. So, what are we gonna do first?
Let's try the Druid headquarters.
Okay. So.
Well, you guys head towards the Druid headquarters. Gwyn, you got up a little bit later than usual, but not too late for when you're with Josephine, and you're having breakfast. Okay, you just finished having breakfast. You're having like your second coffee of the morning when you hear a knock at the front door. Okay, and a moment later, one of the maids comes in, announcing, sorry, apologies. Where the heck are you gone? Oh yeah, one of the maids says, Madame Marianne Lagarde is here to speak with you of an urgent matter, and bustling in after is Madame Lagarde, Astrid's mother.
Oh God! Oh.
And she says, just waves the maid off. He says, Madame Lagarde, please come in. What's the matter? He says, I am sorry, Madame Gautier. I did not know who else to talk to come to. I was afraid to ring the constabulary. I did not know who else to turn to. You're my only hope. When I got up this morning, Astrid had not come down. I went up to her room. She's gone. She is gone.
She's gone. And Gwyn just jumps up and just knocks her coffee cup probably and okay, tell us everything. Was anything left behind? Did she pack clothes? Did she leave in a hurry? Was there a sign of struggle? Tell us everything you know.
The only problem is this is a perfect place to pause in our story.
You
fucker.
So, folks, we will be back in about 5 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere, okay? And I will answer all those questions for Gwyn. But yes, we will be back in 5 minutes.
Come up with stuff that's not what I said at all.
So don't go anywhere, folks. As I said, we will be back very soon. Okay? Thank you all.
We'll have to.
Okay, folks, hello and welcome back to Earth, an indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. When last we left the heroes, they had been enjoying a wonderful evening at a ball being organised by Josephine Gautier, a very powerful artificer who has hired the party for numerous jobs and who has also taken Gwyn, the party witch, as her young lover. During this night, however, one person they become friends with, a young girl, Astrid Lagarde, a very, very lovely young girl from a wealthy but reserved, quiet family who's just reaching the age where she's coming into society, meaning that she's basically looking for a husband, was found in an amorous embrace with a young man at the party. There were some stern words to the young man about the reputation of the young lady and so forth. But thankfully, it was only the party who had seen this. So the young man slipped away, and a little bit later, Astrid, with the party, returned back to the main ball where she told her mother, "Oh, she'd just been with the women folk." Okay. Justine had pulled the party aside and told them that her fairy dragon familiar Anklegon, which is always on her but usually camouflaging himself to hide amongst the folds of her gowns, had reacted quite strangely when in the presence of a Baron Stratsmere that Gwyn had met at one previous ball. When Justine used her connection with her familiar to try and understand his feelings, he shared the feeling of instinctive fear an animal might have in the presence of an apex predator. The party did eventually go home to their respective rooms, and then the next morning, Justine and Sylvia planning on going to La Bibliothèque Nationale de France to try and do some research, hoping that they might have some books on the Fae, suspecting that the Baron may be more than he seems. Gwyn, just finishing breakfast with Josephine, was interrupted by Marianne Lagarde, the mother of young Astrid, who came into her to tell her that she went up to her this morning and she was not in her room. So, in answer to your questions, Gwyn, she simply says, I checked her belongings. She has appears she'd taken a small number of items, and I found a letter from her
What
in
did it
which
say?
it said, forgive me, Mama, but I must follow my heart
Ugh,
Oh,
to pursue my
Jesus.
love. I promise I am safe, and I promise I will make you proud. I will contact you soon. Your beloved Astrid.
no, no, no. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, let me think.
Christ,
We
cross.
definitely find her. I'm sure I have things, and Gwen starts like rummaging in her bag. All she is thinking about
I mean,
Astrid's
you have your
future.
you have your goblin purse, so that means you have all your stuff.
Yeah, she's like so flustered. She's just kind of her mind is just brain fog. All she can think about is just Astrid's future and the scandal. Oh my god. So eventually she thinks of Justine, Detective Justine, and pulls out her messenger pen.
Oh, I forgot you had yeah, I think you do
Do I
have
have a messenger pen?
I believe you do, because I don't think you have Moonlit script, don't you know?
I need to just check. Bear with me now for a second.
Oh, actually, I don't see it. No, you've got the fairy glasses, but do you have Moonlit script?
I don't think you do, Gwen, because remember you were talking to me
No,
about
yeah,
breaking spells.
I thought you did, because of you do have Moonlit script, because you've used that spell to
Oh, you
communicate
do, yeah.
with Josephine. So you do have the Moonlit script spell.
I do. Certainly my sheet is taking ages to load there. Yes, I'm going to use Moonlit script. Pen a message
Apologies.
to Justine. Get to Josephine's now.
Number of words equal to your resolve plus level.
Get to Josephine's now. Urgent. Gwen.
So silvery font appears in front of you. Justine with the message, get to Josephine's now, urgent, Gwyn. And Sylvia, you're standing beside her, so you see the message too.
We're just going to exchange looks and just
be like, the Baron conveyed, I suppose. We should go.
absolutely.
Okay. Right.
So while they're traveling there, Gwen is going to ask Astrid's mother, Marianne, if she has anything on her of Astrid's, like a handkerchief or something she would have used in her hair, any kind of keepsake or anything that was important to her.
Well, I will just say, if you're planning on casting locate person,
I am, and I know it works quite well if you know the person,
yeah,
but I was
that's the
thinking it
thing.
might work extra well if you have something of theirs.
I mean, if you have something of theirs, it will help, but that really more so if you don't know the person, but you do know Astrid, so you can cast this spell without having to worry about that, okay?
Cool. All right, so in front of Marianne, this is something Gwen would never do, but she is going to pull out her parchment, her iron filings. She'll take out her pendulum and just kind of knock the coffee regalia kind of away, clear space on the table, and start scrying for Astrid.
Give me an awareness roll, will you?
Oh, she's gonna freak her.
Okay, Gwyn is panicking, so she basically has no awareness, and I rolled a 3. So all she is looking at is that parchment. She's not even taking account of Marianne's reaction to this.
So you spend your 4 mana.
She's assuming it's horror. So.
You spend your 4 mana casting the spell, channeling your arcane power into the components of your ritual spell, your witch's spell, okay? The filings start to take shape, as they do every time you've cast a spell, forming lines of streets and avenues in Paris, and slowly the pendulum then moves over a spot. So it's kind of northwest of Notre Dame it's a nice-ish part of the city, like pretty nice part of the city. And if you want to hold the spell for a couple of minutes, the pendulum is being slowly pulled, suggesting that Astrid is moving.
Okay, she's moving. I don't know where. Just relay the information to Josephine and her mother. My friends are coming. We'll find her. Marianne, we will find her.
Oh, thank you so much, Madame Gauthier. Would you be able to have and Josephine says, like, to be honest with you, while I am an exceptionally skilled artificer, I think Gwyn might be better suited for this. That very interesting spell that she knows is one I do not actually know, so I may have difficulty locating your daughter myself, whereas Gwyn, she will be, you know, I would put my faith in her. And just, okay, well, look, if that is what you say, then I believe in you, of course.
Perhaps we could take your carriage, my dear, and it would speed up our journey.
Absolutely. Of course you can.
Can we just say that, like, Druid's headquarters was very conveniently going kind of through the direction.
Had we even left though?
You were literally getting your stuff and about to head out the door of your lodgings in Montmartre. You were literally walking towards the front door, having had
I got the impression we hadn't actually left.
You were having your conversation, planning what you were going to do, literally walking towards the front door when the spell was sent to you.
Cool.
Okay.
We'll just jump in the cab and go.
Okay. Yep. So. Right, you guys jump in a cab. You get to Josephine's house in about 20-ish minutes or so. Knocking on the front door, the maid lets you in, and you race in, and you can hear the sounds of conversations. I do not know what she would do. I mean, she said she's following. Oh, don't tell me. I mean, the scandal of it all. If she has run.
I know. We will find her before anything happens.
And you guys, the maid is like, Mademoiselle, and as you guys just come in past the poor maid who's doing her best, you know, is like. As Mary, oh, thank you, you're here as well. Okay, okay.
It will be okay, Marianne. I can see that she's on the move. They're not somewhere they shouldn't be. We'll find her before anything happens. Don't worry.
She's on the move.
Astrid has been away.
I went to her room this morning. She was gone. She'd left a note of following her heart and yes.
Sylvia starts swearing in German, so like but it's very
so the carriage will be coming around any moment now. Sylvia, shall we go?
Yeah, you can find her with your spell, can't you?
Yes, I know.
Sorry, Sylvia, can you give me an awareness roll, please?
Me? Yes. Oh, sure. Why? Oh, well, I rolled an 11, and I'm pretty sure that's just a 12.
You don't have keen eyes, I believe, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not this time.
Okay. Yeah.
And Justine.
Last campaign, I had a character who had like super high perception and got everything.
Sight beyond sight. Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, Gwyn, you were saying something?
Can Justine roll?
No, this is specific for Sylvia.
Oh.
Okay.
So, right, you guys get out to the carriage. You're almost there waiting for you all. And Gwyn, you give him the directions. Like, you don't know Paris super well, but you try and give him the best. You're like, show him the map because you haven't like to end of the spell. And he's like, okay, I know where that is. Yeah, we can be there in like 10 minutes.
We need to be there in 5, Jerome, and people be damned. We need the carriage to do its thing.
That's what the carriage doing its thing. Like, that's the opposite side of the city, Gwyn.
Okay. Well, as fast as you can.
It would be 25 minutes in a normal cab. Okay? So yeah, you're like
Okay, well,
and actually him saying that you're now getting an idea of scale, because like you don't know Paris, you know. So when he
Mm-mm.
says that,
Paris,
you're like, oh shit,
Paris is
right?
fucking big, like.
Paris, like it was one of the great cities of the world at this time, you know. Obviously, it's even much bigger now than it was back then. But even in the late 19th century, it was one of the truly great cities of the world. So you're like, oh shit, right, okay, right. 10 minutes, that's good.
Mhm.
So you jump in the carriage, and thankfully Mina's not here trying to hold her stomach as he uses the shadow jump spell feature of the carriage, and you go whirling through. It's slightly trickier because it's during the daytime, so there are less shadows to jump through. It's morning, but he's doing his best. Okay. So yeah. But
Now, then we find him. We're not
He-
going to set him on
He's already
fire
for me.
immediately.
Yeah, nothing in this world can change my mind.
so you do eventually get to the bit of the city where the map was into, and it's like it's a very large, wide street. There's like some nice houses around here. Nearby, not on the street you're on, but nearby, there's some shops and some more commercial section. Looking around, like there's people going about their day, but like yeah, it's a pretty nice part of the city. It's one of the more wealthy parts of the city. But looking, can you all give me awareness rolls, please?
Well, that's a 1, so I'm in a carriage.
17.
17. Okay. What was 10, Gwyn? Okay. Yeah, even with your inspiration die, I don't know how much.
Nah,
Okay. So I will say this, Justine, with 17, you're looking around like you don't see any sign of Astrid.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I will do the.
Cast a spell
I'll
again.
do the spell again in the carriage.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you cast a spell again, and the map zooms in closer to where you are, so you're getting a much more delineated like section of the street, and it looks like she's maybe. It's hard to know, but maybe a kilometer or so up from where you are. But yeah, so.
Okay, let's follow her
So,
in
yeah.
the carriage, I guess, because that's a good
Yeah, of
15-minute walk.
So following her in the carriage.
What do you think? Would it make sense if I was to turn into something that could fly? Maybe I could see her from above.
And you can use telepathy to let me know when you find her.
I can't cast spells in that form.
Can't cast spells in her animal form. No.
Let's put Anki to fly over, and because I assume like we're keeping fairly close distance with him.
As long as he's within 30 meters of you, you can see through him. Okay. So,
Okay, or I could do it, but yeah, if Anki does it, I don't.
The difference is Justine can actually see through Anki's eyes within 30 meters of him,
and that's she's just in a carriage, so she'll be blind and she'll be seeing through his eyes.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, you are continuing on, traveling along, until you
can
get.
Anki roll never awareness?
Absolutely, you can.
Let me
And
just.
I can't. Let me just pull up his stats here. Okay, hold on.
It's like a +7 if I remember right.
I think
it's a good one.
Where are we? Fairy dragon. And he's a young fairy dragon, but he's still got a pretty good awareness.
I think I remember it being a +7.
Okay, according to this, it should be +4, but screw it, we'll just say +7.
Okay, maybe it was +7 for something else.
He's an exceptionally attentive little boy.
He's so good. He deserves all of the trichos and the scritches.
Well, that's 13 plus 7, so that's dirty 20.
Yeah, there's no sign of her, and you're like, no sign of her in the street at all.
Could they be in a building? Like, does my maps
the map is like as if they're walking down the middle of the road.
Oh, they're fucking invisible. Fuck.
I'm gonna start throwing fireballs unless anybody has a better idea.
Well, spell magic.
Does anybody have true sight?
No.
No, but I have the spell magic.
I have my glasses.
What's the
I
range?
have my
That's
glasses.
only the dark sight.
So
those
glasses. There are glasses of true sight, which are the more powerful ones. What you have is glasses of dark sight that allow you see in the dark, as if you're fey touched. but then there's the glass of true sight, which are enchanted with the true sight spell from the Sphere of Twilight. So
let me cast
Is
detect
there
magic
any-
first.
okay.
Yes.
What's the range on it?
I think it's 10 meters. Oh wait, no, it's more. It's actually based on your level. Where are we?
So we're level 8.
Detect magic. It's 3 meters plus 1 meter per level radius. So 11-meter radius. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll need to get-
Nice.
We'll need to get pretty
Okay.
close, but that's okay.
So you cast the spell. So you continue along, like with the carriage trotting. The horses are trotting. They're not just like walking.
And I'm going to spend worth of like 8 mana on it,
Now,
but because
just to be aware. Okay, yeah, I know you have your -6, but spending more mana gives you more information about the enchantment. It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't
extend the
increase the range.
Okay, it just gives you. So at a base 2, you know there's magic. At 4, you'd be like, okay, it's magic, and it's from maybe this sphere. You know, at 6, it'd be, okay, it's this level of power from this sphere. You get me?
yeah, but then it doesn't make sense for me to cast less than that anyway.
Absolutely. Well, you still need to cast. You have to spend a minimum of 1 mana to cast a spell.
Yeah, so I'm going to spend 2, which is 8.
Yeah, super. Okay, right. So,
Ooh, and actually our chat has a really good point, Neil. My spell, does it differentiate between like street levels?
not from where you're looking right now.
Interesting.
Oh, I thought if it would differentiate floors if we were in a building, though, wouldn't it?
So what it will do is it will show the building, and then if you go into the building, then
Yeah.
it gives you a 3D map.
Okay, yeah.
But
Let's
you have
see
to be
if they're
physically
invisible.
in the building for the map to shift in that way.
Oh.
Yeah. So you're traveling on for maybe like about 10, a little over 5, 6, 7 minutes maybe, and you're like, okay, shit, we're basically there. We should be able to see them. We're practically on top of them, and you send out your spell, you cast it with that, what is 14-meter radius, so like big ass radius effect of that spell. The only magics that you're picking up are the magics of enchanted items that you have and of the carriage itself. So the goblin purses and so forth that you have, the arcane, the mana receptacles that you've made and that you're carrying, and this carriage is super feckin' magically powerful. Like, you're like, you spend the equivalent of 8
Holy
mana,
shit.
you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, Josephine is on, like, next level. Oh my god, this shit is off the
It's
charts.
well kitted out, is what you're saying, basically.
This is like Ferrari levels of Magitech engineering, like, you know, Formula 1 levels of Magitech engineering. You're like, this shit's off the chart. But
Nice.
you're not detecting. Now, this is the thing. The detect magic spell doesn't actually detect invisibility. Because if it did, what would be the point of an invisibility spell?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it would detect active spells. Fuck.
Not if the
Okay.
spell is invisibility, because then that defeats the point of an invisibility spell. In my
Yes. Yes.
So Gwyn is going to lean out of the carriage and start shouting Astrid's name. Because we have nothing else. We can't do anything
Okay.
else.
Did we get anything of hers from
No.
her book?
I mean, but it doesn't matter because Gwyn knows her, so she can cast the spell to a very good level
No,
of accuracy.
I was thinking if I had something of hers, I could turn into a bloodhound and find her.
Ooh, genius.
Because
Unfortunately, you do not have any items of hers.
and people don't shower much,
you
so
have,
I would not.
You have never
I'm-
been in her presence as a bloodhound, so you don't have a good idea of her scent.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunate. If you had even spent 30 seconds in her presence as a bloodhound, I would allow you to track based on your memory of the scent. But that never happened.
I'm starting to think I should maybe just do this every time we meet an NPC.
Yeah, good idea. Here's our little companion, Sylvia.
You just stand there while I sniff your ass.
Start screeching like a beagle or something. Like, oh, she always sounds like that. It's fine.
So my other question would be, would invisibility spell if I cast dispel magic,
So
would it be broken?
So that's the thing, is that when you go to cast dispel magic, it's you so you have to know where you're targeting that spell at.
Mm.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So even though you have a range in which to cast, that's the range you can be from the spell caster who's casting the spell. Or
I can try and do my best based on the map.
You would be crap shooting because you have to see the target.
That's fine.
Like the whole, it wouldn't. You know yourself, it's a waste of time. You have to be able to see the target. You know.
So I need to see the target, even if I know like sort of general direction. I can't even try to.
Because it's not an AOE spell; it's a targeted spell. You know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it'd be like trying to fire a gun blinded, I suppose.
Can I please use my amulet of friendship as I'm shouting out of the carriage for Astrid? And that gives me...
Hold on. Your amulet of friendship does give you a bonus to charm-based rolls. Excuse me. That's a minor amulet, isn't it?
It's a major. Oh no, it's a minor.
Is it? Where the fuck is it? Sorry, apologies.
Amulet of friendship. It gives me first level +1 to persuasion, third level +2, fifth level silver tongue feat, seventh level calming influence feat.
So
I've never used any of those.
But they're not really of any. They're not really going to help you here, you know.
Neil, this is a total long shot, and if you can absolutely tell me, shut up, that I'm being completely ridiculous.
I love these crazy ideas.
Bats
Yes.
can't see very well, but have radar.
Actually, sorry. Actually, that's not true. Bats have perfectly good eyesight. They are not blind as anything. They can see perfectly well in the dark.
Yeah.
However, their echolocation is superior to their sight. So, actually, they can actually see.
Okay, well, I'm thinking, can I turn into a bat and use echolocation?
You're in the middle of a relatively empty street. Like, there's a couple of people walking around, but what are you going to echolocate?
Their bodies walking around.
The bodies, if they're invisible, I'll be able to fucking see them. Like Daredevil.
It's genius.
Daredevil without the parkour.
I shouldn't allow this because it's kind of you're metagaming to break the rules of my game to completely make the invisibility spell and magic effect redundant and useless. But this is so stupidly ridiculous. Fuck it, I'm going to allow it.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Like salt in the giant fucking snail.
Yeah, okay. So, Sylvia, you step out of the carriage, casting B-shape, and change into a bat, flying up into the... Wait, okay, serious question. What type of bat are you changing into?
Vampire bat, obviously.
What?
Fruit bat. Fruit bat, vampire bat.
Sylvia's never seen a fruit bat. She's fucking Prussian.
What are their pygmy fruit vampire fruit bat?
Fruit bats are native to Australia and
Jesus.
Asia. She's Prussian.
Do you know what? If you'd asked me this when I was 10, I would have been able to tell you exactly what type of...
I am being such a horrible nerd right now. Such a horrible biology.
If you asked me when I was 10, I would know exactly what type of bat.
So, what type of bat are you changing into, Sylvia?
A type of bat that is native to Russia. And not the type of bat that like Fern Gully, because I know that's set in Australia.
That's a fruit bat actually in Fern Gully.
Badikoda is a fruit bat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he
you
is.
can tell from looking at him. Okay.
But I do because he's like chowing down on the fruit big time. Oh god, I have to start looking at European bats. I don't know.
What's that cute little one? Pip? No.
The pygmy bat.
There's something like that.
There's the horseshoe bat.
There's the European free-tailed bat.
There we go. Sure, why not?
Pipistrel.
Pipistrel would have been another excellent suggestion
something
by
like
Emma
that,
in chat. Yes. So
what is the most common bat? Pipistrel. Oh, pipistrel. Yeah, no, that's coming up.
So
okay.
yeah, you change into pipistrel, okay, and you fly out into the street.
Imagine if our friend the Baron is hanging out there as well as a bat.
Get interesting.
Give me an awareness roll. I'm gonna say for this it's a +5. Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna give you my amulet to reroll. My amulet.
Amulet of Fortune.
Yeah.
Before she
changes. Can we say retrospectively before I do that? I also cast
on yourself.
Bless on myself.
You cast Bless on yourself. Gwyn, hand your rabbit's foot amulet of Fortune. Then you change into a pipistrel bat and squeak, 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 squeak. This is so ridiculous.
It's science scale. It makes perfect sense.
God. Actually, I only rolled an 8, so...
Okay, hold on. So you can re-roll because of the amulet of Fortune that Gwyn gave you.
Okay.
And you can take the higher value. It doesn't...
Oh my god, I rolled a 4.
So 8 plus... So you're casting Bless... So you can add your resolve, which is 5 now, isn't it?
5 now, but what's my perception as a bat?
+5.
Okay, so 8 plus...
You can re-roll twice, by the way. You have another re-roll.
Have I? Okay.
Yep, at third level, twice for short rest.
Yeah, so you can re-roll again.
Oh god, that was only a 5. I'm rolling really hard.
So well, that's okay, 8 plus 5 plus 5 is 18.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not terrible.
So you're sending out your squeaks to get a sense of everything around you, bouncing back. The only things you're getting from your echolocation are the people, objects, animals that you can see already in the street.
Okay, so we need to think now, are they below us? I don't know anything about sewers in Paris. I assume they have them, but I have never thought about them. Would they be in them?
Do you ask your own this?
Yeah, I'm kind of just saying it out loud to the party.
Sewers, we have practically a city of catacombs beneath this city.
Damn it.
Okay, well then, can you walk through them? Are they a network?
Yes, I mean, there's the sewers, and then they interlink with the catacombs. Like, they go on for kilometers.
So perhaps they took the catacombs.
Well, if your map is saying they're in the stream, we can't see them. They must be. They must be underground.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. Okay, and
unfortunately, we'll need to go back a bit to get to an entrance.
Okay, wherever the nearest entrance is.
Yeah, like it's about a kilometer. I'm really sorry, Gwyn, but it's like a good kilometer back there. There's nothing I can do. I'm sorry.
Can you bring us to the next one so we can walk towards them as they walk towards us, if you know what I mean?
But, yeah, but the problem with that is, how do you know they're going to continue going in a straight line? Like these it's a network of tunnels, you know.
Okay. I think what we would need to do, we need to go maybe. Oh, sorry, I can't talk. Never mind.
Yeah, you're technically a bat.
I'm straight up.
Squeak.
Okay, so I suppose we just need to go to bring us to wherever you know the entrance to be.
I'll bring you to the nearest entrance that I can think of that leads under the city. So, Sylvie, you see the carriage start to turn around, so I assume you fly down to it.
Yep.
Do you stay in bat form?
Yeah, I may as well because I think I've got like several hours.
Oh, like 4 or 5 hours, I think. It's
I know. I mean, yeah, fuck it. I'll stay a bat, and I'll like fucking.
Gwyn will explain to Bat Sylvia what's happening.
Oh, I'm gonna sit. I'll probably just sit on someone if that's okay.
So you go to sit on somebody, and then you see Anklegon.
Oh God!
Moving towards you.
Anki,
in a crouched position.
Well, I'm still watching through him, I would assume. And I'd be like,
down.
Sylvia, Gwyn will just throw Sylvia out the window. No, Gwyn has thrown her out the window. It's for your own good.
So
As she throws her out
so
the
this what
window.
happens. Gwyn grabs you and throws you out the window as Anki leaps off Justine's lap and pounces at where you would be, landing in Gwyn's lap.
Okay, so
And I'll
can I
grab
like,
him to stop him from flying
I'm
off.
gonna maybe hold on to like the side of the carriage.
Okay.
And you know that's you can't eat Sylvia.
Okay.
I'll just scream into his head like, you know, friend,
Okay.
don't
Friends not
teach.
food. Friends not food.
So
Friends, not food.
right. So yeah. So you're going on about maybe like 7 or 8 minutes, and then he eventually brings you down, kind of going closer towards the direction of Lausanne, of the river, and he says, "Oh," and you get out, and he brings you over to like a weird kind of manhole-y crate type thingy, and he says, "Okay, so I know that this is sewer branches off into some of the catacomb tunnels. Maybe if you cast your spell underneath here, you'll get a fresh map thingy that will show you what way to go. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think?"
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Cool. Okay. Well, good luck, ladies. I'm not going down there.
That's fair. I wouldn't expect you to. You've done
Okay.
enough for us.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So yeah, you clamber down into the sewers. Like there's like a channel of water running down, and there's like embankments along the side you can walk along. It does not smell great.
Lovely.
Okay.
I have my fairy globe. I have my dark side glasses. So between them, we should all be okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, Sylvia is totally fine because she's a bat and she can see.
You,
And she,
yes, true.
So
I'm still gonna be lazy and like I'll probably just like sit.
So
and
when
wait.
you do let your fairy
You
globe
can
out, that's
sit
floating.
on the
The fairy globe is floating in the air above you, illuminating so that you and Justine can see. Okay.
Okay, and I will
After
take out my
about
map.
150 minutes, you see a branch off from the sewer that goes out into what appears to be a tunnel structure.
Great.
Ooh, okay, I think this is probably a good time then to take out the parchment and the iron filings and try and scry.
Yeah, so you step away from the filthy water and you cast your spell again, deduct your mana, and this time you're seeing a completely different image of in front of you. Whereas previously you were getting like a map of the city streets of Paris, now you're getting a map of the catacomb tunnels beneath Paris.
Okay.
And you can see it's a warren of tunnels that stretch on for many kilometers, but you do see like the pendulum leads you to a spot. Looks like it's maybe 1.5 kilometers ahead of you. Okay, but
Okay.
you guys are looking at it. Justine, you study the map carefully with your intellect and memory. You're pretty confident you can remember what way to go to lead you all. Okay.
So proud of you, Sin. That's like the opposite of me. I can't remember any maps ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this weird like I remember I looked at a map like the night before when we were in Bruges, fucking Bruges. We then forgot the map. This was before we had smartphones. I'm showing my age. I was able to navigate to like the cathedral, or I can't remember what we were looking at, but I can't remember where we were going to because it was in 2008. But I was able to navigate by memory because I like looked at them the night before. We'd forgotten it, but like I was like, oh no, it's this way, I remember because.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Awesome. Pictures are good.
Right.
Do they look like they're far?
As I said, it looks like it's maybe 1.5 kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it? Are they still moving? Yeah.
Oh, they are still moving. Yes. Most certainly.
But I would assume that Astrid is not used to like walking a lot.
They're not moving
Well,
at
they're
a
probably
crazy fast speed, but they are still moving, you know?
Well,
See, I would suggest Anki and I go ahead, but I'm also afraid that Anki's going to try and eat me.
Well, I can watch through his eyes, and if I do, I think I'll be able to restrain him if needed. I hope.
I'm staying in this forum because I don't know if the kind of extra perception might become in useful.
Mhm.
That's the only
Gwyn
reason.
can kind of wrap Pat Sylvia in her waistcoat to try and at least protect her a little bit from Anki.
Oh, that's very close. Okay.
Now, if that's too close, Pat Sylvia doesn't have to do it.
Right. So, you continue on, yes?
All right.
So you
Yeah,
continue
let's
on.
say we'll send Anki a little bit ahead.
Mhm.
Just because he's a fairy dragon, he can camouflage and he has like super fucking spider senses, whatever.
Just be careful, Anki. Don't go too far ahead.
So, you've moved away from the sewers into the catacombs proper, traveling along. These are very old. Some of them look to be pretty ancient tunnels, probably hundreds of years old. And you do see, as you're walking along, in some of them, human remains, bones, skulls
Right.
of the dead. Like, it's a catacombs. The dead were the bodies of the deceased from centuries past in Paris. They were stored here, and there's a lot of them.
That's a very cheerful environment.
Oh yes.
I
So,
wonder why they went there.
So,
Whoever took her, he's up to no good.
So you
this guy is so deceased when I get my hands on him. He has no idea.
You are continuing.
We don't know if it's him.
You are continuing along for a bit. When Justine, you can see Anki's ahead of you. You're not looking through his eyes because then you'd be blind, okay? But he's a bit ahead of you. When you suddenly get a flash from him of like fear and warning, and appearing out of the shadows,
Is it the Baron?
An incorporeal form starts to emerge of a spectral figure of what looks like maybe a woman, but wearing clothes that are centuries out of date. As she swoops in towards you all, I need you all to roll initiative.
Oh, it's a fucking specter. It's a specter. Great.
18.
Oh, Jesus. What is wrong with my rolling?
You're a bat.
Oh, you're a bat. So you.
So my dex is different.
You get we'll say a +5 to your dex.
Okay, well it's still crap. It was 11.
I actually rolled a 17 plus 2 is a 19. Pretty good.
Go, Gwyn.
I know, right?
19, Gwyn, yeah? Okay.
See all the human remains around her. Just kind of feeling in her element. Vibes.
Actually, if you want to scavenge for some, some useful things for your amulets, that's probably...
Honestly, I was thinking that if only she was a bit of a higher level, there are definitely human remains that you will need at some point.
I mean, you will need it at some point.
You just want your hand.
And you have a goblin purse as well, so
you
you might as well just...
You are absolutely saving up.
Okay, right. So, just give me one moment, please. Apologies. So just to recap, Gwyn, you got a 19, Justine, you got an 18, and Sylvia got a 12, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So the first to act is the Spectre. Evens Justine, odds Gwyn. Evens. So it sweeps towards you and goes to strike at you with its incorporeal hand. The first strike, however... Oh, actually... Yeah. You are very squishy with an exceptionally low... Where the fuck is your character sheet gone? Your defense is 10. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, it's what?
10. So I rolled
But I have armor as well.
No, that's just when you take damage.
You have armor, but not ghostly armor. So it strikes you. I rolled a 12. Where's my D8? There it is. And that's and the hand passes straight through your armor as if it wasn't there. Okay, you take 11 points of damage. Okay, and it is... Hold on, apologies. Yeah, that's 2. That should be a 2 there. And it's going to go for a second attack against you.
Can I try to use my reaction and cast Arcane Shield?
What does
Is
that?
it even going to help?
Well, hold on. Let me just look that up again. Arcane Shield. That's a second level spell, isn't it?
Mhm.
I mean, you can certainly cast that if you want. You could cast that absolutely, and that would have brought your defense up to 15, which would have stopped the first attack.
Mhm.
But my second attack, I rolled a 19. So you do.
Can I not increase the mana that I'm spending on it?
I don't think that's how that spell is it. Oh, sorry, you can. Yeah. So how much mana would you want to spend on this?
I want to spend 10 mana on it. So the
that's
equivalent of 4 for me.
4. Okay. Now for every 2 additional mana, you increase the defense by 1. So base 4, so that would bring it up to a +3. So that 18. I think the second attack does still hit. I rolled a 19, but you
No, wait.
did.
Base 4.
So it brings you to a defense of 15.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So I rolled a your defense
Yeah.
is now. How long does that spell last for? It's an instant thing. It's an instant attack. Okay, so I'm gonna say it counts for the two. Oh well, it's what actually happens is it stops the first attack, but it only works against a single attack anyway. And even if you cast it the second time, it still wouldn't have stopped the second one. So we'll just
Gotcha.
you can save the manas. Okay. So we'll say that you suffer those 11 points from the second attack. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Gwyn, it's your go. Oh, sorry, wait, apologies. I need you to give me a choice. Fortitude, hardiness, or resolve willpower.
Me?
From Justine.
Okay.
Because when it
Okay.
strikes at you, you feel it's literally like the chill of the grave covered into your very bones. It's like an icy cold hand has grasped your very heart.
Yeah. So that's 13 plus 2 resolve. That's going to be 15 plus 1 willpower.
Okay,
That's
so
16.
you manage to shake it off. You feel this a lot. As I said, it's like a hand from the grave is trying to constrict your heart, but you focus and you shake it off. So, Gwyn, it is your turn.
So Gwen is going to kind of do 2 things simultaneously. Firstly, she's going to shout at the specter, please, you have 1 chance. We mean you no harm. I'll leave this place. See if that has any effect.
No.
No. Okay. Then it's time for
Try diplomacy. Fuck that.
Yep, she tried. So we're gonna go for a fire bolt and just see how that does. So she's
Oh my god, my captions
flying from her palms. It's not fireball, it's fire bolt. It's a lesser spell, but sparks start flying from her palms.
How much mana are you spending?
I mean, I feel kind of bad, but Gwen is sort of in a frenzy as well. She's thinking of Astrid and her future. So she's actually going to use 8 mana.
Okay, so that is 44 plus 5.
4d4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Bear with me now. We have a 1, a 4, a 3, and a 3. So 6 and 4 is 10. 1 is 11 plus 5 is 16.
The specter does manage to move slightly and dodge it. You did hit it, but not straight on. Okay, so didn't do quite as much as you would have hoped, but you did injure it.
Okay.
Okay, Sylvia. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
What did you want to do anything with your minor actions?
I was just with my minor action. I was going to try and appeal to the specter again, just one more time.
Give me a charm roll.
Yay. Oh, okay. That was a 1.
No. Sylvia, you're a bat.
All right, I'm going to drop the spell, which I assume is a minor action. Okay, pretty pissed about my girl getting hurt, so she's already hurt. I've got plenty of mana, so hopefully I can heal her. I'm going to spend 8 mana, but this is my favorite sphere, so I get
What spell are you casting?
Oh,
It's a minus.
stone bullet.
So it's -2 to the cost. So it costs you 6.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't have my Book of Shadows
It's
open.
okay. I got it open.
Okay, the Spectre has to make a Dex
Yep.
saving throw.
I failed. Full damage.
Okay, so that's 8. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm using a D4 I never used, so we're going to see how this goes.
So 44 plus 4.
Oh, that's cocked. Hold on. Okay. Okay, 4, 2, 6, 7. Oh, I have. Okay, I'm going to say that's a 1. 8 plus 4 is 12. Yeah, it's the top one, I assume. Yeah. So 12 points of damage.
You hit true and straight. It wasn't able to dodge just the way it was able to slightly dodge Gwynn's fire. So it is now we're start of a new initiative round. It's the Spectre's go.
I'm skipping mine, right? Because
Did I? Sorry. Oh, sorry, I skipped you. Apologies. Because you made the save, so you weren't stunned. So apologies, I skipped you by accident. So actually, your go, Justine.
perfect. Because I meant to go after Gwyn.
Yeah, you are.
It's okay.
Apologies. You did actually make the save against its Touch of the Grave. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Well, I want to cast Arcane Bolt, but is it going to work on the same?
Yeah, it's magic, so it should work.
It will.
Okay.
It will.
Okay.
It should.
I mean, Earth magic works, so it should.
It's
Yeah,
magic generally works. So how much mana are you spending?
Give me a second. It's an advanced math.
It's 4 points to cast the spell. How much would you want to spend? Now, don't forget that you, with your 4 mana, or in your case 1, okay, you conjure 4 bolts. It's 1 bolt per intellect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say you were to spend 2 mana, you would get 5 bolts.
Mm-hmm. At a cost of 4 mana per bolt, the caster can produce a number of additional bolts equal to the caster's magic. So the maximum of 5 more bolts, right?
Your magic is, was it 4 or 5?
5.
Yeah, so for an additional 20 mana, you would cast 5 more bolts. So for 24 mana minus 6, you would produce 8 bolts.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
So do you want to spend 18 mana and produce 8 bolts?
18, holy fuck.
8 bolts. 8d6.
D6. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
8d6.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Not d4s,
Well,
baby. Second level spell. These are d6s.
Sure. An 18 mana for me is going to be 12.
No, that is with the -6 subtraction.
Oh, that's with a -6.
Yeah.
Sure, I have all the fucking mana receptacles.
Exactly.
Why not?
You've got like 80 mana with all these fucking mana receptacles. So yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just roll it online.
Okay, fine.
I'm using real dice. That feels weird to me.
I don't have
I did that in campaign 1 when I didn't have a lot of dice. It was so handy.
Oh yeah, you
For
played
big
that
rolls.
rogue. It was great.
Oh man, like when you've 1 or 2 sets of dice, Wizards dice is just a godsend.
Holy shit! You know what? I used to think Olaf is such a chaos goblin, and then we started campaign 2, and I'm just sitting here.
So
Bring
First
back.
character, baby.
Justine,
Bring back the
D6, right?
stability. Bring back the stability of
Justine,
Olaf.
what did you get?
Is it 8d6, right?
8d6,
Haven't gotten anything.
yes, 8d6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This thing is going to
I got 28. Not great.
So Actually,
28.
the average roll on a d6 is 3.5 times 8 is exactly 28. You got a perfectly average roll.
There
Okay.
you go.
So yes, that was very good. So yeah, 8 shards of arcane energy come flying from Justine's hands, pummeling this spectral form. 28. Okay. All right. Right. It's now the Spectre's turn. It's going to attack you, Justine, for doing that to it.
Of course.
I'm legit going, we don't have fucking time for this.
11. So
Swear to God.
that's an 11 to hit. Do you want to cast Arcane Shield to stop it?
I do want to cast Arcane
Or
Shield.
actually,
to
let me
stop it.
just give me 1 second here. Do you have? So if you were to cast, for example, Stone Shield, that increases your defense by 2 for 5 rounds.
Sure.
Which
Let's do that.
would stop it, okay?
Yeah.
So that brings your defense up to 12. That stops the first attack. Second attack. Oh, the second attack was a 5. Or was an 8. So, like, no, the second attack misses, okay? Gwyn, it is your go. Justine, you're on deck.
Okay, we don't have time for this nonsense. Gwyn is casting Fireball.
Of course she is.
Yeah, we don't have time for this. There is a
Do I have
girl
to make
on-
a resolve roll, or is this
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sylvia.
I'm going to say yes because she's doing it in a
sorry.
fucking catacomb. You're in
Yeah.
an enclosed space. No, I've gone off this, but I'm going to say this time yes. Gwyn!
So,
How much
anyone
mana-
within
how much-
5.
How much mana are you spending? I mean,
So I just want to check that I
you
don't
guys
hurt.
are all at range. You're casting spells. No one is in melee with this creature. Well, actually, wait, no. Justine is in melee with the creature. If you cast Fireball, you're going to hit Justine.
No, how close is she?
She's in melee. The creature just smacked her.
Ah, jeepers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Changing tactic. We are gonna pull out the Wand of Blasting. That's my minor action. The major action. We are gonna target the Spectre. And the wand lets out a blast of negative energy. And that's 2 mana base. But I think we're gonna go with 8.
Okay.
Just to be sure. And
So
that
that's
is
44
D4.
44 plus 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that is not great. 4 of 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, and 5 is 16. Same as before.
You hit it. You blast it. It doesn't seem to do as much damage as you were
Oh,
Yeah.
it's necrotic energy.
It wouldn't.
It's-
Yeah, it
it's
wouldn't.
not as
That's all I
effective.
have.
As even though
Yeah.
you like your first spell, you glanced it. This spell, you hit it square on and seemed to do the same amount
Did the same.
or
Fair.
an equivalent damage to when you only partially hit it.
Yeah, makes sense. Necrotic Spectre.
So
Yeah.
So Justine, it's your go.
So yeah, I'm going to cast Arcane Bolt again, but I'm going to spend like 2 mana, so that's 5 bolts.
Yes.
Yes.
So 5d6.
Yes. Yes. Just give me a second. Sorry, I didn't erase the previous one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. It's 5, 5, 5, 6, and 3.
Holy
Nice.
shit.
So it's 24.
Oh my god.
fuck?
Okay.
Let's go.
$24 from 5d6. Jesus Christ.
I can send you a picture.
No, I believe you. I would never
Wow.
question you. That's incredible. Sylvia, your go.
Oh, Sylvia is actually just so pissed right now. I'm gonna spend. So that's 8, but for me it's 6. I'm gonna do it again. So that's 4 d4.
Okay.
Actually, can I just make a magic roll with that efficient casting?
Oh yeah, that's costing you a minor action.
Oh, my rolling is being what it is. I rolled 6. We'll
The
forget
spell,
that.
so the spell still works. You just don't activate the feat.
Yeah. So 3 7, 8 plus 4 is 12.
It was 44. You said
Yeah.
3, 7, 8. That
Sorry, 2 plus 1 is 3.
Okay. Okay.
Plus 4 is 7, plus 8, plus 5 is 13.
Okay. Right. Cool. No, I was just checking because you're only giving me 3 numbers.
Sorry, I was.
No, that's cool. So yeah, this creature's gonna just continue attacking Justine. So the first roll is a 13, which beats your new defense of 12. Do you want to cast Arcane Shield?
I do want to cast Arcane Shield.
Okay, so you cast Arcane Shield, bring up a protective aura, and it stops the attack. Deduct your mana. It's 1 point of mana is how much it costs you. Every spell costs a minimum of 1. So even though you're like -6, it still costs you 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then second attack against you, Justine. That was cocked. Oh, it was a 6, so it misses. Okay. Gwyn, it is your turn.
Okay, we are back to firebolt.
Pew pew
Yeah,
pew 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 pew.
1d4 plus magic of penetrating fire damage. I am going to go with, again, 44. So we're going to go with 8. Come on.
Because
Right.
the fireball is just going to fry everybody.
It's going to fry everybody.
You're in an enclosed space. It's not a good idea.
A 4 and a 6 and a 2, 12 plus my mana. It's at 17.
And this time it failed the dex roll, so that was full damage. Describe your finishing blow.
Woohoo! So it's kind of similar to Yassine's arcane spark in that sparks of what looked to be like kind of fiery rain fly out from Gwyn's hands towards the spectre, and when they hit, it just explodes into smithereens.
It's like it's ripped to shreds. Although I will say this, my personal headcanon is whenever you cast this spell in front of Josephine, you do it using finger guns.
Finger guns. No, Gwyn's way too cool for that. What are you talking about?
In front of Josephine, that is my headcanon. You use finger guns. Okay, so the Spectre defeated, worried that this may be the first of many, traveling through these catacombs filled with the remains of thousands of deceased Parisians, knowing that Astrid is maybe a kilometer and a half ahead of you, but hopefully you can find her before she bumps into a Spectre. This is a perfect place to pause in.
No.
Oh no.
Thank you all for joining us. I forgot to say this earlier, but there is a wonderful Kickstarter currently happening. It's for a short film based on Scottish folklore about a young girl who befriends a Kusith, a fairy hound, called Fateful. They are trying to raise the money they need to get the funds for their post-production costs. Obviously, it needs to use CGI and stuff because it's got a fairy hound. I'm not going to lie, I have a vested interest in this. I'm one of the backers. I want to see this movie being made. They could really do with your support, especially because the delightful individuals known as the Conservative Tory Party only in the last week released a statement saying they're slashing funding to the arts in the United Kingdom because that's the kind of shit they
Tories, I'm shocked.
Well, I mean, how else are they going to pay for all these hotels in Rwanda, you know? But yeah, so
Jesus.
if I know times are tight for people, and people were amazing supporting our Kickstarter, but if you have anything to spare at all, and you could support this, the link is in the chat and will be below the VOD description when this goes up on YouTube.
It does sound legit amazing.
Yeah, so they've only got, I think, a day or two left on their Kickstarter, unfortunately, and they're a bit away from their goal. Hopefully they'll move to a different crowdfunding platform where they'll at least get some of the money if they don't hit their target, but I really want to see them succeed because it seems
Are they far off it, Neil?
Oh, they're like $2,000 off it, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah. So,
okay.
But anyway,
because I was gonna just jump on.
No. It's a chunk off it. But any help at all. But listen, thank you all for joining us tonight. Next week we continue our shenanigans in the subterranean complexes of Paris, chasing after a young woman who has decided to follow her heart, loving the Bridgerton vibes, See you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, all.
I'm going to string that to the
Bye.
fucking toenails. All right.